Again, just the relentless pressure that Virginia can apply their offense against your defense with those extremely quick, talented guards. And the fact that those guys are so good from the free throw line. Now, of course, even if he makes both of these, Stanford has plenty of time, 9.4 seconds, to get the ball up the court and get a pretty good shot.
Watch out!
9.4 left.
Well,
Solomon
now
Taft comes in for Virginia, and Stanford will use their final timeout. So both teams should be out of timeouts right now with 9.4 left in the ball game, and this should be a full timeout. We'll keep it right here. Jen Hildreth, what do you have for us?
Well, guys, the last time Virginia called a timeout, the coaches made it very clear that Singletary and Reynolds were the hot hand guys, but one of them had to get back defensively. So it'll be interesting to see what they play, how they play it here. So you can be sure they're not just thinking about offense. They're making sure even their best shooters are getting back and not giving Stanford anything easy.
Well, Stanford 16 of 22 from the line. They've been outscored by 7 by Virginia from the stripe. Virginia 23 of 30. But it comes down to the final 9 seconds.
Right, and that miss by Reynolds really key, because Stanford, if he makes both shots, then Stanford has the decision to make. Do you go for 2 to tie, or do you go for 3 to win? Now, even if Reynolds is able to make this shot, Stanford gets the ball out of bounds. 9 seconds is plenty of time to get the ball up the court and get a good shot. If they get a 2, they could still win the game, or they would win the game, obviously. First thing you have to do if you're Stanford in this situation, however, is block out. Reynolds misses the second free throw. You have to get the rebound. And for Virginia down on the other end, if Stanford does get a shot, you want to make sure you block out. You don't want to lose the game on a tip-in at the buzzer.
Which we've seen Lopez already do, a tip-in. For the lead. 1-point advantage. 9.4 left. Stanford with the basketball. Washington gives it up to Hill. In traffic. He's got it with .9 left. Reynolds at the buzzer. And Stanford has beaten Virginia.
Ron, what an outstanding play by Fred Washington, who takes the ball the length of the court on the dribble, draws the defense. This is Washington. He's just going to take the ball up the court in the middle of the lane. And he finds Hill. We've been talking about Hill the whole game. And Hill, what great patience. He didn't take the shot that was available. He drove into the lane, got a better shot, and knocked it down.
Stanford snaps a 2-game losing streak. Virginia snaps a 3-game win streak. Coming up next, we'll take it to Chapel Hill for more ACC Sunday Night Hoop as Florida State meets North Carolina. Now, this is Ron Thulin for Dan Bonner and Jen Hildreth saying so long from Charlottesville, where Stanford wins it 76-75. You've been watching ACC Sunday Night Hoops, presented by Pizza Hut.
Hill at 6'8", Fred Washington, Anthony Goods, Brooke, and Robin Lopez, the same 5 that started the game. UCLA counters with Collison, Ship, Luke Richard, and Bamute back in the game, playing with 2 fouls. Aaron Aflalo and Lorenzo Mata also playing with 2 fouls, and a slick bucket by Fred Washington. And all of a sudden, it is a 10-point game.
Big possession to start that second half, just from a confidence standpoint for Stanford. And Fred Washington, a little ISO out top, a little bump off of contact, spins and knocks it down. Great defensive possession for Stanford. This team shows a lot of fight, Steve. They were down. Johnson does a great job making contact like Norm Nixon used to do when he played for the Lakers, and then a little fadeaway. Good lob.
Oh, Robin Lopez. The pass was behind him. He went up, caught it, and throws it down.
Yeah, used the rim as a halo, had to kind of reach back and stretch out at 7 feet, and still able to catch and finish. And that's why one of the reasons why I say these 2 guys, and Ben Holland concurred with me, are much further along than the Collins twins, Jason and Jaron. That time, Lorenzo Romar going to slip down on the back door because of athleticism, just like that. Being able to catch, lean back. There's Lorenzo Mata, loses his footing. Not able to recover. We saw Aaron Aflalo do the same thing in the first half.
Just pull down the rebound. Fred Washington on the drive. No foul, but Lopez picks him up.
Ben Holland doesn't like the feel of things in this atmosphere. He feels the momentum shift at the Cardinal pull to within 2.
The sixth man to USC today at Maples Pavilion. Stanford has rallied from 17 down to tie the #3 team in the nation.
This is where Fred Washington has really got to earn his scholarship. You know, Aaron Aflalo, you know what he wants to do, take over the game.
In and out. Ryan Wright struggling with the basketball and 15 seconds in the shot clock.
Key man here for Stanford, Fred Washington defending Aaron Aflalo.
Mitch Johnson with his second steal in the last 2 minutes. Aflalo 17 in the first half. He's known for his great second half success, but the defense has been so good from Washington, from Goods, from Lawrence Hill, who's been sliding over the cover.
Yeah, and Fred Washington has the task right now. So Aaron Aflalo maybe having some difficulties. Look for Darren Collison to get a little bit more aggressive. Josh Shipp is really yet to be heard from in this game.
Aflalo with an air ball.
Got something.
Washington lays it in.
And one.
And a foul.
Everything going the Cardinal way. I mean, of all people, Aaron Aflalo with the air ball. And as the case in basketball, when you shoot the air ball, Fred Washington just keeps on going toward the other end. A shooter has a tendency to sit there and watch and kind of mope and wonder who opened the door that made that shot fall short or go long or whatever the case may be. And Fred Washington takes advantage and gets out and runs down the floor for a layup.
Well, you talked about opening the door. Stanford has scored 14 straight points. You know who's been walking in? Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde came in for Stanford in the first half, but it's Dr. Jekyll working his magic in the second half.
And Stanford will take it right to it.
Yeah, Barry, I thought another real big key for California is controlling tempo. They've got to do a pretty good job of trying to maximize every possession. Now, again, see, that is going to be the philosophy of the Cardinals, driving right at the goal. And as you mentioned, if you can pick up 2 fouls on Anderson, you know.
And when you start talking about Stanford and block shots, saying it's blocked becomes redundant. 19 of them against USC.
Yeah, 19, and of course, Brook Lopez at 12. All by himself.
And the Lopez twins the other night against Gonzaga had a combined 9.
It's a pretty good career for some guys. Okay, they're trying to front, go right over the top. See, I thought a great read.
A nice pass, too.
You better put a little bit of pressure.
Well, I thought they'd call that a kick, but they'll say it's not a kick, so there'll be 9 seconds left on the shot clock.
Well, Ryan Anderson has come a long way this year. I think he under the radar in terms of recruiting, and has arrived at California. He's had a stellar freshman year.
No question. A little reverse by Washington.
We may get no help. Yeah, and Ben Braun right now, he's got to be thinking, hey guys, you know, it's 8-0. You know, we need to get our act together. So much for
to the basket.
Oh, what a move! Just didn't get it down.
Yeah, great move.
Big time move. Just couldn't finish.
Ben Braun said he didn't want to have to play Vernisil too much because he'd rather have him for the long run than for him to play on an ankle. It's not quite yet 100%. Here's Washington down low. Great effort and one. Great job by Washington.
A veteran move by Fred Washington. Kind of switched hands and felt the contact and made a beautiful move with the right hand. Still is really giving California a big lift. So he's only averaging 6 a game. He's got 9 in this one.
There's Anthony Goods, little pump fake. Now drop it down to Robin Lopez. He draws a crowd. Lawrence Hill missed it long, but there's Washington, the rebound, the putback. Washington has just been everywhere.
It's a tough match.
Ibaka leads for Christopher. Christopher going to try a 3. Comes up short. Freddie Washington, the rebound for Stanford.
Yeah, that might have been a little early in the possession right there.
Lawrence Hill. Lawrence Hill. There's Washington just kind of followed Ty's finger to the basket.
Well, I think Fred Washington's really had a heck of a game. And you got to remember, he's a left-handed player, and it does a great job to break the defense down and finish it.
So 12 points and 5 assists in the ballgame for Fred Washington. Unselfish play, senior leader of this team. We want to remind you that you have a Brooke Lopez bringing Anderson out with him. Now Fields drops this one down for Lawrence Hill. It's on the ground, and Freddie Washington picks it up. He has it blocked from behind by Robinson. Gets it on the other side, puts it home.
Yeah, they've hurt California as expected around the basket. And if you're Trent Johnson, that's a smart move. Well, the Cardinal now intent to run their half-court motion. If they don't have it, they're going to back it out, run a little screen. See, again, put it down on the block. That's a tough shot. That was a hard one. He almost made it, though.
They're going to get a second chance here. Washington just picked up the loose ball, held it till everybody went by him, and just dropped it in.
I think he and Lawrence Hill have been the major difference here in the second half. And in the first half, it was Brooke Lopez, but a great job by Lawrence Hill and Fred Washington. Fred actually has been terrific the whole game.
Yeah, he has. Very consistent. 17. Just picked up the loose ball, held it till everybody went by him, and just dropped it in.
I think he and Lawrence Hill have been the major difference here in the second half. And in the first half, it was Brooke Lopez, but a great job by Lawrence Hill and Fred Washington. Fred actually has been terrific the whole game.
Yeah, he has. Very consistent. 17 points, 7 assists. Got 6 rebounds. Very consistent game.
Looks to me like Stanford's trying to make a statement tonight.
It's a nice bounce-back game for them.
He has missed 3 shots, but you'd never know it. So that's our nothing but net Red Lobster shot of the game, and Lawrence Hill's just been spectacular here tonight.
And if he missed 3 shots, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't either. They must have been in the first half. I don't remember missing many in the second half.
He's also 4 of 6 beyond the arc. He's got 20 points in the ball game. He's got 4 assists and 6 rebounds. I mean, that's a pretty good line. Nice little touch pass from Washington, and Hill with the finish. How about Washington, too? Again, we talked about his line before. He's got 17 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. Stanford shooting 53% in the ball game. 20 assists on 30 field goals for Stanford. Omar Wood stops the beat on Wednesday night.
Yeah, Barry, remember the last time down. Watch the touch pass. Here it's going to go to here, and it's going to go right there. I mean, wasn't that beautifully done? And you talked about Fred Washington with his, great hands, high to low. And, the ball barely hit the ground that time, and a nice job by Stanford to bring it up the floor.
Foul. Arizona, no timeouts. Bayless for 2. Rebound. All Stanford. Foul, and they fouled Fred Washington, I believe.
That's the first in the foul. Jared Bayless got a nice look at the basket. Again, with the way he gets up on his jump shot, not a whole lot you're going to be able to do defensively. He just could not finish off the play. Little dribble right, little separation, and I mean, great look from 15 feet. You couldn't ask for anything better than that.
Fred Washington, a senior, 5th-year senior, rarity in the college game. Chose to come back to Stanford to play this 5th year, and what a valuable addition he's been. But that's the weakness. And Sunday in Oregon, the last Stanford game, Fred Washington was 0 for 6 at the foul line.
And he's a 52% free throw shooter, so percentages would say he's due to start knocking down some of those. And will it be these two?
We're checking the time here. The officials using video to determine if the time you see there is the proper time remaining. So again, this will be a 1-and-1.
There's the rebound, and there's the grab with about 5'8".
Wow, that's big. If that's,
yeah, that's it.
Hey, listen, we sat there and watched Justin Denton run the floor in Washington this year, right?
Yeah.
And by about 2/10 of a second, missed giving Washington what would have been a huge win.
Yeah, I think that was like 4.8 on the clock when he got the ball inbounded. So they put 5+ seconds back on the clock, like I think they should.
It looks like 5. Mark Reichling, the lead official. That's it. Well, it's moot if Fred Washington makes the foul shots. If he doesn't, it's huge. And again, Arizona has to have it right here. They've got to play. They have no timeouts. This will be a 1-1 for Fred Washington.
I mean, Nick Wise has the kind of speed to get it up the floor with no problem in 5 seconds, even under defensive pressure. Now, he's not going to probably be able to make a pass to Budinger or Bayless. But again, let's wait and see what Fred Washington Jr. can do at the free throw line from the 1-and-1.
If he misses, does Arizona have a Nick Robinson on the floor? How about that? His first point tonight. 0 for 6 on Sunday.
Looks up at his dad, Fred Washington Sr., who I've known for a number of years. They give each other a little hand sign.
That's something. Ball game, Stanford. That's the least expected way to end it. Fred Washington stepped to the line and knocked him down with no problem.
Stepping up and showing the heart that he has displayed during his 5 years here up on the farm. Great win for the Stanford Cardinal, but let's give Arizona